I said, "Hey, sweetie," the alien princess turned crimson and replied, "Yes, darling," then we laughed. Captain Alex Hayes sat in the pilot's seat of the small exploration ship Aurora's Light, his hands resting lightly on the controls. The hum of the engines was comforting, a familiar rhythm that reminded him of long nights spent staring at the sky on Earth. His crew, 2 engineers, a navigator, and a communications officer, were busy with their tasks, scanning the surrounding nebula for signs of anything unusual. Alex had always loved space. There was something about the infinite stretch of stars that made him feel small and connected at the same time. Even after years of exploring, he never lost the sense of wonder each time he passed a new system or discovered a strange, glowing planet. Today, they were mapping a colorful nebula that shimmered with pink, blue, and golden light. It was peaceful, almost like drifting through a cosmic painting. "Captain, I'm picking up a signal," said Mara, the ship's communications officer. Her voice was calm but curious. "It's strange. I don't recognize the patterns. It's definitely not from any human ship." Alex leaned forward, his eyes narrowing. "Show me." Mara pulled up the signal on the main screen. The readings were unusual, smooth, almost musical, unlike anything the crew had seen. The ship had a single blip on the radar, approaching fast. "Looks like someone's coming to visit," Alex said, a small smile tugging at his lips. "Open a channel. Let's see who our neighbor is." Mara nodded and began working on the translation program. The crew watched silently as the signal grew clearer. Moments later, a voice echoed through the ship's speakers. It was melodic and slightly unfamiliar, with a tone that was polite and formal. "Greetings, travelers of the cosmos. I am Princess Lyra of the Zelenian Empire." "We mean no harm. Please open your communication channel." Alex blinked. "Princess? Wow, channel open," he said, his voice casual. "Hello, Princess Lyra," Alex said, leaning back in his chair. "I'm Captain Alex Hayes. Welcome to, this part of space." His attempt at being diplomatic came out more relaxed than he intended. Lyra's voice hesitated. "Your tone is unusual." There was a pause and then a soft chuckle. "I do not understand. This is not how one normally addresses royalty." Alex froze for a moment, realizing he had spoken in what humans called casual mode. He scratched his head. "Oh, sorry about that. I didn't mean to be rude. Humans, well, we're a little different." The pause that followed was almost unbearable. The crew looked at him, waiting for a reaction. Then, to everyone's surprise, the voice on the speaker giggled. It was a high, delicate sound, almost like music. "You are bold, Captain Alex Hayes," Lyra said, her voice now warmer, though a little flustered. "You call me princess, but speak as if we are equals. How strange and yet amusing." Alex grinned nervously. "Well, that's humans for you. We like to keep things light. I promise I mean no offense." Lyra's soft laughter continued for a few seconds, and then she said, "Very well. I shall accept your informal greeting, but you must understand this is quite shocking for someone of my station." Alex leaned back in his chair, feeling a mix of relief and curiosity. "Shocking, huh? I think that's a good word for meeting a real alien princess for the first time," he chuckled. "Though I have to admit I didn't expect royalty to be so approachable." Lyra's laugh echoed again, a little more confident this time. "Approachable, that is a human way of saying polite, yes. Perhaps your species is stranger than I imagined. You speak as if all of space is your friend." "That's a nice way of putting it," Alex said. "Maybe humans just like to smile at the universe. Makes it feel a little smaller, a little friendlier." The conversation continued for a few minutes, both sides learning quickly that the other was unlike anyone they had encountered before. Lyra explained that her people, the Zelenians, were usually very formal, speaking carefully and always maintaining a certain decorum. Humans, on the other hand, were often unpredictable and informal. Alex explained that humor, jokes, and laughter were important to humans. They were ways to connect, to make friends, and to navigate situations that might otherwise feel tense. As they spoke, Lyra's ship approached the nebula more closely. Its hull shimmered with soft iridescence, reflecting the nebula's colors like liquid light. The Zelenian design was elegant, with flowing curves and glowing accents, entirely unlike the angular metal of human ships. The crew of Aurora's Light couldn't help staring at it, impressed and curious. "You are fascinating humans," Lyra said. "Your ways are chaotic yet warm. I do not dislike it." Alex laughed. "I'll take that as a compliment. So, Princess Lyra, would you like to dock with us? Or are you just passing through?" Lyra considered for a moment. I wish to meet you, Captain. I am curious. I hope this will not be considered improper. Alex shook his head. Not at all. You're welcome here. My crew will be happy to meet you too. Minutes later, the docking sequence began. Both ships glided alongside each other, careful not to disturb the nebula's glowing gases. As the docking clamps engaged, Alex felt a mix of nervousness and excitement. He had faced unknown worlds before, but meeting an alien princess who could literally glow with embarrassment or joy was a new experience. The hatch opened, revealing Lyra. She was taller than a human, with glowing skin that shifted softly between shades of lavender and gold. Her eyes were large and expressive, reflecting the nebula's colors. She carried herself with grace, but there was a subtle hint of curiosity and amusement in her expression. "Captain Alex Hayes," she said, her voice softer in person, "thank you for welcoming me." Alex smiled. "The pleasure is ours, Princess. Call me Alex if you like. Everyone here is friendly, don't worry." Lyra's cheeks, or the equivalent of cheeks on a Zelenian, turned a soft crimson. I am not accustomed to such informality, but I shall try. Yes, Alex, that is acceptable." The crew exchanged amused glances. Myra whispered, "I think she's blushing." Alex laughed quietly. "Looks like it, and I think I just earned the title of bold human." "Not bad for a first impression, huh?" Lyra's eyes sparkled with what could almost be called laughter. "Yes, bold human. Perhaps you are even entertaining." The rest of the evening passed quickly. Alex introduced Lyra to his crew, showing her the ship's small lounge, the observation deck, and even the tiny hydroponic garden they had cultivated for long missions. Lyra observed everything with fascination, often asking questions that revealed her keen mind and playful curiosity. By the time the crew sat down for a shared meal, the initial awkwardness had mostly vanished. Lyra, despite her formal upbringing, had begun to enjoy the simple, human ways of eating, talking, and even joking. Alex, in turn, found himself captivated by her elegance, intelligence, and the unexpected warmth behind her formality. As the stars moved outside the ship's windows, a quiet sense of connection settled over the small group. Two very different species, meeting by chance in a distant nebula, had discovered something remarkable. Laughter, curiosity, and openness could bridge worlds. Finally, as the evening ended, Alex turned to Lyra with a grin. "Hey, sweetie," he said casually. For a brief moment, Lyra froze. Then slowly, a soft crimson spread across her glowing skin. She looked at him, and in a voice that held amusement, embarrassment, and a hint of fondness, she replied, "Yes, darling." They both laughed. The sound echoed through the ship, light and genuine, carrying across the corridors and the stars beyond. In that moment, the universe felt smaller, friendlier, and full of possibility. And somewhere deep in space, a human and an alien princess began a friendship that would change the way both their worlds looked at one another. The nebula outside the ship glowed softly, casting a calm light over the Aurora's light. Captain Alex Hayes leaned against the railing of the observation deck, watching Princess Lyra explore the ship. She moved with careful elegance, her glowing skin shifting in soft hues of lavender and gold as she inspected every corner. Her curiosity was infectious, and even the crew who had worked with Alex for years found themselves enchanted by her presence. "Alex," Mara whispered as she passed, "she's amazing. I've never met anyone like her." Alex grinned. "I told you." Humans meet aliens all the time, but rarely do they meet someone this interesting. She's got charm, brains, and a sense of humor hiding under all that formality. Lyra paused in the lounge, her glowing eyes focused on a small digital display showing the ship's life support system. "Your technology, it is efficient, yes, but also simple. Humans rely on creativity as much as on machines." Alex smiled. "That's true. Humans solve problems in different ways. Sometimes it works brilliantly, sometimes, well, not so much, but we always try." Lyra tilted her head, considering his words. "Interesting, your species values flexibility over rigid structure." "Exactly," Alex said. "You could say humans are adaptable. We make do with what we have, and we laugh a lot along the way." "Laugh?" Lyra asked, her voice curious. "I do not understand this concept fully." Alex laughed softly. "It's simple, really. Laughing is how humans react to things that surprise us, amuse us, or even make us nervous. It's like a bridge between people. It makes life lighter." Lyra's glowing face shifted through shades of soft pink and gold, a visual indication of her concentration. "A bridge between people? Fascinating. I wish to learn." Over the next few hours, the crew observed as Alex and Lyra attempted to understand each other's cultures. It was not easy. Lyra's formality clashed with Alex's relaxed style. Words, gestures, and even simple manners had to be translated across the gap of two very different species. "Bo," Lyra instructed as she demonstrated a gesture from her people. "It is polite to lower oneself slightly when greeting someone of higher rank." Alex grinned and tried to mimic her movement, exaggerating it comically. "Like this," Lyra's glow brightened with a mixture of surprise and amusement. "You exaggerate excessively, yet it is entertaining." "Good," Alex said. "If you're going to meet humans, you have to learn to laugh at small mistakes. It makes things easier." Lyra hesitated for a moment and then tried a small, careful chuckle. The sound was soft and melodic, and Alex's crew smiled at the first attempt. "Very good," Alex said encouragingly. "See, laughing is not so hard. Now let me show you how we do humor. Sometimes we say things that are not serious at all just to make each other smile." Lyra's eyes widened. "You make jokes intentionally. That is unusual." "I must try to understand." The next hour was filled with playful attempts at humor. Alex told a story about a small mechanical failure that had once caused his ship to spin in a gentle circle for 3 minutes before he fixed it. Lyra listened intently, her glow changing with every word. At first she did not react, then a quiet, tinkling laugh escaped her, surprising even herself. "You laugh," Alex observed, smiling. "Exactly, that's the point. Humans laugh at unexpected things, not just serious or formal matters." Lyra's glow deepened to a warm lavender. "I see. This is enjoyable. I did not expect to find this pleasure in informality." Encouraged by her progress, Alex introduced Lyra to some human games. Simple card games, small strategy challenges, and even a puzzle involving lights and magnets. Lyra approached each with intense concentration, often surprising Alex with her ability to think differently. "Your mind works unlike ours," she said during a particularly tricky puzzle. "You find solutions by bending rules. It is creative." "That's humans for you," Alex said with a chuckle. "We improvise, we experiment. Sometimes it works, sometimes it fails spectacularly. But we always try." Lyra considered this and then smiled. "I wish to try more of your experiments. Your methods, they are exciting." The rest of the crew watched with fascination as the two began to form a rhythm. Alex taught Lyra the human habit of casual conversation, asking questions that were not strictly necessary, sharing stories that might have no purpose but to connect. Lyra began to imitate, asking playful questions about the crew, the ship, and even Alex's favorite meals. "You seem to enjoy simple things," Lyra said, holding a small cup of synthetic tea. "Earth humans, they do not need complex surroundings to find happiness." Alex smiled. "Exactly, happiness isn't about stuff or rules. It's about moments like this, sharing a laugh, learning something new, meeting someone you didn't expect to meet." Lyra's glow shifted to a soft gold, indicating her approval. "I did not expect to feel comfortable so quickly. Your species makes strange sense." As the ship drifted closer to a nearby planet, Alex suggested a small excursion. "How about a walk outside? The planet is safe and it's beautiful. I think you'll like it." Lyra's eyes lit up. "Walk outside." "I have never experienced such a thing outside controlled environments." "Yes, I wish to try." The crew suited up, with Lyra using a customized suit that allowed her to breathe and move comfortably in human conditions. When they stepped onto the planet's surface, the sight took Lyra's breath away, though technically Zelenians did not breathe air in the human sense. The ground was covered with soft, glowing moss, and crystal-like plants shimmered under the twin suns. Colors shifted subtly as the wind moved through the flora. "This is beautiful," Lyra said softly, her glow reflecting the scenery. "Your worlds, they are full of wonder," Alex chuckled. "Humans are lucky. We have our own beauty, and sometimes the universe gives us a little extra like this." Lyra bent down to touch a glowing plant, her fingers hovering over the soft surface. "Your species appreciates small details. I did not understand before. It is pleasant." They walked together, talking about their lives, their species, and the strange habits of both humans and Zelenians. Alex explained the human custom of sharing personal stories to build connections. Lyra tried, too, describing her upbringing in the Zelenian Empire, her lessons in etiquette, and her fascination with exploring the unknown. "You are very different from your peers," Lyra said quietly. "Yet I find this difference refreshing." Humans, they embrace what is unexpected. Perhaps I can learn to do the same. Alex smiled. That's the spirit. That's what makes humans humans. We find ways to adapt, to enjoy, and to make connections across all kinds of differences. As the twin suns began to set, casting long, colorful shadows across the planet, Alex and Lyra paused at the edge of a small cliff. The view of the nebula beyond was breathtaking, a sea of glowing colors and swirling patterns, stretching as far as the eye could see. You call this beauty simple, Lyra said, yet it is profound. Your species understands joy in a different way. Alex laughed softly. I guess you could say that. We don't always need grand ceremonies or strict rules to find happiness. Sometimes it's just about being present, noticing the little things, and laughing together. Lyra's glow deepened to a warm lavender, a sign of her growing comfort. I begin to understand. Your humor, your laughter, it is not shallow. It is a bridge, as you said. A bridge to connect hearts. Alex looked at her, amazed. Exactly, you're catching on fast, Princess. Lyra's eyes sparkled. And you are patient. You teach without forcing. Your methods, humans, they are remarkable. As night fell, the crew returned to the ship. The bond between Alex and Lyra had grown stronger, built on curiosity, humor, and mutual respect. They had learned from each other, laughed together, and discovered that even across vast differences, friendship could flourish. When they were back aboard Aurora's Light, Alex looked at Lyra and said with a small smile, So, how was your first real adventure outside your palace? Lyra's glowing face softened into a smile. It was enlightening. I enjoyed it. Humans, they have a way of making even the unknown familiar. Alex laughed quietly. That's the plan, that's what we do best. And don't worry, Princess, there's plenty more adventures to come. Lyra laughed, the sound melodic and light. I look forward to them, bold human. And perhaps I will learn more laughter. The stars outside the ship twinkled as if in agreement. Somewhere in the vast expanse of space, a human and an alien princess had begun a journey, not just across planets and nebulae, but across the boundaries of understanding and culture. And in that journey, they had discovered something more valuable than technology or diplomacy, the joy of shared curiosity, kindness, and laughter. The Aurora's light drifted gently toward a small planet not far from the nebula. Its surface shimmered with soft hues of turquoise and green, dotted with luminous trees and sparkling lakes. Captain Alex Hayes looked at Princess Lyra with a grin. This is your kind of place, he said. Safe, colorful, and full of surprises. Lyra tilted her head, her glowing eyes curious. Surprises? You mean humans enjoy uncertainty? Alex laughed. Sometimes, but not the dangerous kind, the fun kind, the kind that makes you laugh and remember it forever. The landing went smoothly. The planet's surface was soft beneath their feet, almost like walking on a thick carpet. Strange, small creatures peeked out from behind glowing bushes, blinking their big round eyes at the newcomers. They were playful, harmless, and surprisingly quick. These creatures, are they pets? Lyra asked, crouching slightly to get a better look. Alex shook his head. Not exactly. They're wild. Think of them like squirrels on Earth, curious, playful, and impossible to catch if you try too hard. Lyra's cheeks, or the equivalent on a Zelenian, turned a soft crimson. Impossible to catch, that sounds frustrating. Or fun, Alex said, grinning. Come on, I'll show you. The two of them crouched behind a glowing bush, peeking at the creatures. Alex held out his hand. Ready? It's all about patience and a little creativity. Lyra observed closely, her glowing fingers hovering above the ground. Creativity, I like that word. Humans value it greatly? Alex nodded. We do. Sometimes rules aren't enough. You have to think, move, and improvise. That's what makes humans humans. The creatures darted forward, curious about the newcomers. Alex tried to mimic their movements, slowly stepping forward, then freezing, then crouching again. Lyra mirrored him, her movements graceful but precise. One of the creatures jumped toward Alex's hand. He froze and it slipped past him, landing softly on a glowing mushroom. Lyra's eyes widened and she laughed, a soft, melodic sound that made the creatures pause. Alex grinned. You see, even they like a laugh, he said. It makes them easier to approach. Lyra tilted her head, clearly intrigued. Your species uses laughter as a tool? Alex shrugged playfully. Sometimes it's more like a bridge. For creatures, for people, it helps everyone relax. The chase continued for several minutes. Alex and Lyra ran, crouched, and occasionally stumbled over soft moss. The creatures were faster than either of them, darting through small tunnels and leaping from rock to rock. Lyra's laughter echoed across the clearing, soft and melodic, blending with the squeaks and chirps of the playful creatures. Finally, one of the creatures approached Lyra directly, curious but cautious. She extended her hand slowly, and the creature sniffed it before tapping her glowing fingers lightly. Lyra's eyes widened in surprise, and a soft blush of gold spread across her face. It trusts me," she whispered. "This is extraordinary," Alex chuckled. "Told you." Patience, creativity, and laughter. Works on humans, works on creatures, works on some alien princesses too. Lyra's soft laughter rang out again. "You bold human, you speak in ways that are impossible to ignore." They spent hours exploring the grove, discovering more strange creatures, colorful plants, and crystal-like formations. Alex showed Lyra how humans study the environment without harming it. They took samples carefully, observed creatures quietly, and recorded their findings. Lyra was fascinated by every detail, asking questions that revealed her sharp mind and playful curiosity. "You observe without interference," she said, examining a small luminous flower. "Humans, they respect life," Alex smiled. "We try. Sometimes we fail, but we always aim to learn and understand. That's what makes humans strong, not just our technology or speed, but our respect for others and our willingness to adapt." Lyra's glow deepened, a sign of her admiration. "Your species impressive. I see why humans are considered capable." As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the mossy ground, Alex and Lyra paused by a small lake. The water reflected the colors of the sky and the glowing plants, creating a scene of pure serenity. "You humans find beauty in many forms," Lyra said softly, "even in unexpected places." Alex nodded. "Exactly, beauty isn't just big structures or grand displays. Sometimes it's quiet, small, and simple. That's how we find joy." Lyra reached out, touching the water gently. Ripples spread across the surface, reflecting the colors of the nebula above. "I did not expect such pleasure in simplicity. My people value perfection and formality, yet I enjoy this very much." Alex smiled. "That's the idea. Sometimes perfection isn't the goal. Sometimes it's about experiencing, laughing, and enjoying what's in front of you." The creatures returned, curious again, hopping around their feet. Lyra crouched, laughing softly, and extended her hand. The creatures approached her cautiously but quickly accepted her presence. Alex watched, impressed. Lyra was learning not just human humor but human patience and empathy. "You teach without words," Lyra said quietly. "I understand more than I expected." Alex shrugged. "Humans were good at connecting, sometimes without even trying. That's part of why we're humans." As the night fell, the grove lit up with bioluminescent plants, casting soft, magical light over everything. Alex and Lyra sat together on a large, smooth rock, watching the creatures play. "You seem at ease here," Alex said. "You like it." Lyra nodded slowly, her glow softening to a gentle lavender. "I enjoy it very much. I did not know I could feel comfortable so quickly. Your species, you make it possible." Alex smiled. "It's easy when you're willing to laugh, learn, and try new things. That's what humans are good at. We find a way to make friends even in unexpected places." Lyra laughed softly again, a sound that seemed to harmonize with the soft glow of the grove. "I begin to see the value in laughter. It connects beings in ways formality cannot." Alex leaned back, watching the nebula light reflect off her skin. "You're learning fast, Princess. Soon you'll be teaching us a thing or two about patience, grace, and elegance, and we'll teach you the rest about laughter." For the next few hours, they explored, played, and observed, losing track of time in the simple joys of discovery. By the end of the night, the creatures had returned to their nests, and the glow of the plants softened, creating a serene and peaceful atmosphere. Lyra looked at Alex, her glow a warm, soft gold. "I thank you, Alex. This adventure I will remember," Alex chuckled. "And I'll remember it too, not just for the creatures or the plants, but because of this, us learning from each other, laughing, and enjoying the moment." Lyra's face shifted to a soft crimson, a subtle sign of her emotions. "You bold human, you speak words that touch my understanding. I appreciate your companionship." Alex smiled, feeling a warmth he had not expected. "I appreciate yours too, Princess. And don't worry, this is just the beginning. There are more adventures waiting out there, more laughter, more discoveries, more moments like this." As they returned to the ship, both felt a sense of satisfaction. The day had been filled with challenges, curiosity, and fun, but most importantly, it had deepened their bond. Lyra had experienced human humor, patience, and joy in ways that were unfamiliar to her, and Alex had learned more about the grace, curiosity, and warmth of the Zelenian princess. Back aboard Aurora's Light, the crew shared stories of the day's adventure, laughing and recounting moments of playful chaos with the small creatures. Lyra joined in, her laughter mixing with theirs, a beautiful bridge between two very different species. Finally, as the ship floated silently among the stars, Alex turned to Lyra with a grin. "So, how was your first real adventure outside your palace?" he asked. Lyra's glowing face softened into a gentle smile. "It was delightful. I enjoyed it greatly." Humans, they bring life to experiences in ways I did not expect. Alex laughed softly. "I'm glad you enjoyed it. And don't worry, Princess, there are many more adventures waiting, and maybe next time you'll even try catching one of those little creatures yourself." Lyra laughed, the sound light and melodic echoing through the ship. "Perhaps, bold human, perhaps I shall try, and perhaps I shall laugh again." The stars twinkled outside as if in agreement. Somewhere in the vast universe, a human and an alien princess had begun a friendship filled with curiosity, laughter, and shared adventure. And in that friendship, they discovered that even the smallest moments, running after tiny creatures, laughing together, exploring a glowing grove, could create memories that would last a lifetime. The Aurora's Light floated quietly among the stars as Captain Alex Hayes and Princess Lyra prepared for their next journey. The last adventure on the glowing planet had strengthened their friendship, and Lyra's curiosity about human ways had grown immensely. She had laughed, learned, and explored, discovering things about humans and about herself that she had never known. But not everyone in the Zelenian Empire approved of her close association with humans. Lyra's behavior, laughing freely, speaking casually, and sharing experiences without strict formality, had already drawn attention. A message arrived aboard Aurora's Light, formal and polite but unmistakably serious. "Princess Lyra," the message began, "you are requested to appear before the Imperial Council at your earliest convenience. Your recent actions have raised concerns regarding interstellar protocol and the decorum expected of a Xylenian royal." Lyra read the message carefully, her glow shifting from lavender to a soft crimson. She turned to Alex, trying to mask her worry. "Alex, it seems my people are concerned. They do not understand our friendship." Alex put a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "Don't worry, you've done nothing wrong. They're just not used to seeing a Zelenian princess act like a normal person or laugh at human jokes." He smiled gently. "We'll figure this out together." Lyra nodded, taking a deep breath. "Yes, together, but I must be cautious. I do not wish to disappoint my people." The journey to the Zelenian capital was quiet. Alex respected Lyra's need for focus, keeping conversation light and occasionally telling a small joke to ease tension. Lyra's glow softened under his gentle humor, a clear sign that she appreciated his support. Upon arrival, the Aurora's Light docked at a sleek, shining platform in the heart of the Zelenian capital. Towers of translucent crystal reached toward the sky, reflecting the twin suns in a dazzling display. Lyra's advisors and attendants met them, their faces serious but respectful. Inside the Imperial Council chamber, a large circular room with glowing walls, Lyra and Alex stood before the council. Members of the council were tall, elegant, and formal, each radiating authority. Their eyes studied Lyra closely, noting her informal posture and the subtle blush still lingering on her glowing skin. "Princess Lyra," the council leader began, his voice calm but firm, "your recent interactions with humans have caused concern. Your behavior is unorthodox, and it may reflect poorly on the Zelenian Empire." Lyra bowed politely but remained composed. "Respected members of the council, I understand your concerns. Yet I assure you my interactions with Captain Alex Hayes and his crew have been enlightening and respectful." One council member raised an eyebrow. "Respectful, laughing freely and ignoring formal etiquette is unusual. How can this be beneficial to our empire?" Alex stepped forward, his tone calm and measured. "With all due respect, honored council members, the princess has shown great wisdom and courage in interacting with humans. She has learned about our culture, and in doing so has demonstrated that humans are not a threat, but a species capable of cooperation, understanding, and friendship." A murmur spread through the council. Lyra's glowing skin pulsed softly, a sign of her nervousness and pride. The council leader spoke again. Explain further, Captain Hayes. How can your species, with its informal ways and unpredictable behavior, offer value to the Zelenian Empire? Alex nodded. Humans are adaptable, curious, and capable of empathy across species. We learn quickly, communicate with creativity, and build trust through humor and kindness. These traits allow us to connect, solve problems, and create partnerships, even in situations where rules and protocols are unfamiliar. Lyra's glow brightened as she added her voice. My people value order and tradition, yet I have learned, through Captain Hayes, that there is strength in flexibility and wisdom in laughter. Humans, they teach, understanding without force and respect without ceremony. The council members exchanged glances, some still skeptical, others curious. One young council member stepped forward. Princess Lyra, are you suggesting that human methods may have merit for us? Lyra straightened, her glow warm and steady. Yes. I believe there is merit in learning from others, in understanding differences. Captain Hayes and his crew have shown me that humor, patience, and empathy can bridge gaps that strict rules cannot. A long silence followed. The council members considered her words carefully, the weight of centuries of tradition pressing down on them. Alex waited patiently, confident in Lyra's sincerity and intelligence. Finally, the council leader spoke. Princess Lyra, your words are unconventional. Yet they carry honesty and thoughtfulness. If your experiences demonstrate that humans can be allies and that your conduct does not harm our empire, we may reconsider our judgment. Lyra exhaled softly, a subtle glow of relief passing across her features. Thank you, honored council members. I assure you my actions are guided by respect for the empire and curiosity about the universe. Another council member, more cautious than the rest, asked, And Captain Hayes, do you promise that your influence will not lead the princess astray from her duties? Alex smiled gently. I am here as a friend and observer. I have no desire to influence her in ways that compromise her responsibilities. Our goal is understanding, learning, and cooperation. That is all. The council remained silent for a long moment, deliberating quietly among themselves. Finally, the leader spoke, his tone firm but fair. Very well, Princess Lyra, you may continue your interactions with humans under careful guidance. Captain Hayes, your intentions are noted. We trust that mutual respect will continue. Lyra bowed deeply, her glow softening in gratitude. Thank you, I will honor this trust. Alex gave her a reassuring nod. And I'll respect it as well, but Princess, I hope you know one thing. Lyra tilted her head, curious. What is it, Alex? He grinned. Humans are persistent. We'll keep finding ways to make you laugh, explore, and learn. That's part of who we are. Lyra laughed softly, the sound melodic and warm, echoing through the grand chamber. Then I shall welcome it, but cautiously, yes. Cautiously is fine, Alex said, smiling, but never too cautiously to miss the fun. After the council meeting, Lyra and Alex walked through the palace gardens, glowing flowers lighting their path. Lyra's mood had lifted, and the tension from the council's scrutiny had eased. Alex, she said softly, my people, they did not understand at first. But I believe they see the value now. Your species teaches in ways subtle and powerful. Alex smiled. That's what humans do best. We learn, we laugh, and we find ways to connect. That's how we survive, how we thrive, and how we make friends across the stars. Lyra's glow shifted to a gentle lavender, her expression thoughtful. I am grateful for your presence and guidance. I see the universe differently because of you. Alex chuckled softly. And I'm learning from you too, Princess. Your wisdom, your curiosity, it's inspiring. Humans are lucky to meet someone like you. They walked in comfortable silence for a while, both enjoying the soft glow of the gardens and the peaceful hum of the palace at night. Lyra stopped near a small fountain, its water sparkling under the twin suns, remaining light. You, Alex, do humans always have such courage? She asked quietly. Alex thought for a moment. Not always, but when it matters, we do. We find ways to connect, to adapt, and to protect what's important. And sometimes we do it with a smile or a laugh. Lyra smiled, a warm gold hue spreading across her glowing skin. Then I shall remember this lesson. Courage with laughter is powerful. As they returned to the aurora's light, the stars twinkled above them, a quiet witness to the strengthening bond between two very different beings. Lyra had faced the challenge of tradition and expectation, guided by Alex's patience and insight. And in doing so, she had demonstrated not only her wisdom but also the human truth. Understanding, empathy, and humor could bridge worlds. Back aboard the ship, the crew celebrated with a simple meal. Lyra joined them fully this time, sharing stories of her childhood in the Zelenian Empire and laughing openly at Alex's small jokes. The tension of the council's scrutiny melted away, replaced by warmth, curiosity, and the promise of further adventures. Finally, as the ship floated silently among the stars, Alex turned to Lyra with a playful grin. "So, ready for the next adventure?" Lyra's glow shifted to a bright lavender, her expression lively and joyful. "Yes, Alex, I am ready, and I shall laugh even more." Alex laughed softly. "Good, because that's what humans do best. We explore, we learn, and we find joy wherever we go." And somewhere deep in the cosmos, a human and an alien princess strengthened their friendship, proving that courage, understanding, and laughter could overcome even the most rigid of traditions. Together, they had faced misunderstandings, built trust, and discovered that differences could be bridges rather than barriers. The stars outside twinkled in quiet approval. A new chapter in human-Zelenian relations had begun, one filled with curiosity, laughter, and endless possibilities. The aurora's light drifted quietly among the stars, its engines humming softly like a lullaby in the vast emptiness of space. Captain Alex Hayes sat in the pilot's seat, his eyes scanning the colorful nebula around them. The adventures of the past weeks had brought surprises, laughter, and new friendships. Most importantly, his growing bond with Princess Lyra of the Zelenian Empire. Lyra stood nearby, gazing out the observation deck window. Her glowing skin shifted gently from lavender to gold as the nebula's colors reflected against her. She had come a long way since her first formal encounter with humans. She had learned to laugh, explore, and enjoy life in ways her people's strict traditions had never allowed. "Alex," she said softly, "I never imagined that space could be so full of joy." Alex turned to her with a smile. "Space has always been amazing, Princess. But what makes it truly special is the people you share it with." Lyra's glow brightened. "Then I am glad to share it with you." The crew was gathered in the ship's lounge for a celebratory feast. They had successfully completed another series of surveys on a nearby star system, and Lyra had joined in fully, her curiosity and joy evident to everyone. The mood was light, laughter mingling with the soft hum of the ship and the twinkling light of distant stars through the windows. "Captain Alex," Lyra said, her voice melodic, "your crew, they work very well together. Humans are cooperative and resilient." Alex chuckled. "Thanks, Princess, they're a great team, and humans, we like to solve problems together, we help each other, and sometimes we make mistakes along the way, but that's part of the fun." Lyra tilted her head thoughtfully. "Mistakes are acceptable," Alex laughed softly. "Oh yes. Mistakes are part of learning, and sometimes mistakes lead to the most interesting discoveries." Lyra smiled, a warm gold glow spreading across her skin. "Then perhaps humans are remarkable. I understand now your ways and your laughter." "Glad to hear it," Alex said. "But laughter isn't just for understanding, it's for remembering. Moments like these are worth remembering." After the meal, Alex suggested they take a short excursion on a nearby moon. The surface was covered in soft, multicolored moss, with small glowing rocks scattered across the landscape. Alex and Lyra suited up for the trip, excitement and curiosity sparkling in their eyes. "This moon looks peaceful," Lyra said. "Yet your species finds adventure everywhere," Alex grinned. "Adventure doesn't need danger, Princess. Sometimes it's just exploring, learning, and laughing." As they stepped onto the moon's surface, the small creatures that had fascinated Lyra before appeared again, curious and playful. They darted around the explorers, hopping between rocks and moss. Lyra's laughter rang out, soft and melodic, as she tried to interact with them. "You, Alex," she said, crouching to reach out to one of the creatures, "they are like playful spirits. Your species appreciates such joy." "Exactly," Alex said. "Humans value curiosity and play. Even small things like these creatures teach us about life, patience, and laughter." Lyra extended her hand slowly, and one of the creatures hopped onto her palm. She blinked in surprise, her glow shifting to a soft crimson. "They trust me. This is wonderful." Alex watched with a smile. "See, patience and kindness plus a little humor go a long way." They spent the next few hours exploring the moon, observing its flora, playing with the creatures, and sharing stories. Lyra explained more about her life in the Zelenian Empire, while Alex shared tales of Earth, human traditions, and past adventures. Each story sparked laughter, curiosity, and a growing sense of connection between two very different beings. You humans find meaning in small details, Lyra said, examining a glowing crystal. I admire your perspective. You see life as a series of moments to cherish. Alex nodded. That's right, we try to notice beauty even in unexpected places. And we share it with friends like you. Lyra's glow shifted to a gentle lavender. Then I am fortunate to share these moments with a human so bold and patient. As night fell on the moon, the stars above twinkled with quiet brilliance. Alex and Lyra sat on a smooth rock, gazing at the sky. The nebula they had passed earlier reflected in the moon's small lakes, creating a scene of breathtaking color and serenity. You, Alex, Lyra said softly, I feel that our friendship is something precious. Even across different worlds we connect, Alex smiled. It is precious, Princess. Humans are good at connecting, laughing, and finding common ground, even when the differences are huge. That's what makes us human. Lyra's glow brightened, her expression warm. Then I shall cherish this connection, and I shall laugh with you always. They returned to the ship as dawn approached. The crew had prepared a small celebration for the occasion, sharing food, laughter, and stories. Lyra joined wholeheartedly, enjoying the company of humans who were different from her own people but equally fascinating. During the celebration, Alex leaned toward Lyra. You know, Princess, I think humans have a special talent. Lyra tilted her head, curious. What talent is that? Alex grinned. We can make even serious situations fun. We find ways to laugh, to learn, and to connect. That's why we're humans. Lyra laughed softly, her glowing face turning a gentle gold. Then I shall call this the human gift of laughter and friendship. I shall remember it. As the celebration continued, the ship's sensors detected another human exploration vessel nearby. Alex smiled. Looks like more humans are out there. Maybe we'll share some of this joy with them too. Lyra laughed, the sound melodic and light. Perhaps, Alex, perhaps humans spread laughter across the stars naturally. The evening passed in warmth and light-hearted conversation. Lyra had grown comfortable with the crew, sharing stories, asking questions, and laughing openly. Alex observed her, realizing how far she had come, from the formal, cautious princess who had first met humans to someone who embraced curiosity, humor, and friendship. Finally, as the stars shimmered outside the ship's windows, Alex turned to Lyra with a playful grin. So, ready for a new adventure? He asked. Lyra's glow brightened, her expression lively and joyful. Yes, Alex, I am ready, and I shall laugh even more. Alex laughed softly. Good, because that's what humans do best. We explore, we learn, and we find joy wherever we go. Lyra smiled, her glow shifting through soft gold and lavender hues. Then, together, we shall explore and laugh across the stars. The crew joined them on the observation deck, gazing out at the nebula, the distant moons, and the infinite stretch of stars. Laughter, stories, and shared excitement echoed through the corridors of the ship. Humans and an alien princess had discovered that friendship could overcome differences, that curiosity could bridge worlds, and that laughter could unite even the most distant beings. Alex, Lyra said quietly, do humans always bring joy in such ways? Alex chuckled. Not always, but when we do, it's powerful. It can change hearts, build trust, and make even the stars feel closer. Lyra's glow shifted to a soft crimson, a sign of her delight and emotion. Then I shall carry this joy wherever I go. And I shall share it with others as humans have shared with me. As the night deepened, the ship floated silently among the stars. The nebula glowed softly in the distance, a reminder of the adventures they had shared and the friendships they had forged. Alex and Lyra stood side by side, their laughter mingling with the hum of the engines and the twinkling light of distant worlds. You, Alex, Lyra said softly, this journey has taught me more than I imagined. I understand that life is richer with laughter and companionship. Alex smiled warmly. And you, Princess, have taught us that curiosity, courage, and kindness can bridge even the biggest differences. That's what makes humans awesome. Lyra's glowing eyes met his, and she said softly, Then let us continue together across the stars, laughing, learning, and sharing joy. Alex grinned, his heart light. Together, Princess, across the stars, always. The stars twinkled silently around them. Somewhere in the vastness of space, A human and an alien princess had forged a bond that would last a lifetime. Through curiosity, patience, laughter, and mutual respect, they had discovered that friendship could cross galaxies, that joy could unite even the most different beings, and that humans, through humor, kindness, and adaptability, truly were remarkable. And as the Aurora's light drifted onward, carrying its crew toward new adventures, one thought echoed clearly across the endless cosmos. With laughter, friendship, and an open heart, the universe was full of wonder, waiting to be explored together.